Good morning, party people of the internet. Oh, yeah. Help if I turned on a light, wouldn't it? Happy New Year. Hopefully we can have a decent year this time around. I heard some rumblings about another BS plague, basically. Uh, my hot take on that one, and I know YouTube's not going to be too amenable to what I'm about to say, but they can ban me if they want on this one because I'm going to fucking say it. I really don't give a shit. I'm not playing the lockdown game again. It didn't work last time. It's not going to work this time. It served zero purpose. All it did was fuck up our country and really mess up a lot of people in the head. So this Chinese agent that CNN decided to trot out, just to say, oh, well, we're diverse, and you need to listen to us because we're diverse. And she has quote-unquote qualifications, quote-unquote. Yeah, well, you know what? You were wrong then, you're wrong now, and I really don't care what you have to say about the 66 cases that are currently represented on the bird flu. Considering how old the bird flu virus actually is. Oh, well, it's a new strain. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. The flu gets a new strain every year, too. And you know what? If you have any interaction with the public, your body changes out germs faster than you could ever change out socks. So, whatever. It's just another germ that your body has to deal with at this point. And here is my recommendation to people. Do not lock down because a government tells you to. Lock down when you start seeing bodies physically yourself. And I don't mean that as, no, I saw them online. No, I mean that as in your neighbor's in the hospital and there's like 5 of them in the hospital, one has died kind of thing. Then, yeah, then you need to bunker down, Make sure all your preps are in order. Make sure your food stash is up to date, Make sure you have all of your usual medications for the long haul kind of thing. Because that's when it gets important. But outside of that, no. This is going to be, in my opinion, the flu bug. It will be very hard to get a non-genetically altered by human hand, a natural evolution of the flu virus that is going to be deadly enough to be a considerable threat even to the United States with our medical system the way that it is now. Now, if we were a third world country where, medication and treatments for symptoms were not a thing, then sure, you might have a fluid in the lung issue or fluid in the brain or whatever, but here's the reality. If you live in a country where you have free access to one of these, you have, well, I don't mean free as in free, these are like, what, $3 a can? How much is Monster a can, babe? Roughly. About $2 to $3, something like that. If you have access to Monster in a can, you would be what I would consider in a first world-esque country. I seriously doubt that places like Iran are going to have cans of Monster floating around. I could be wrong. Don't live there. Never been. Don't intend to go. Someone can correct me in the comments. But my overarching hot take on this whole thing is, don't worry about it until you start seeing for yourself in your local area issues associated with it. Government lockdowns are not necessary and should be deemed unconstitutional outright. The Supreme Court needs to make that a thing. In fact, if we get lockdowns again, I might go try to get my driver's license photo updated on a day that they have it off and bring a lawyer along so that way I can bring up the constitutional issues surrounding or I'll find a way to make a constitutional issue out of it, basically, just to take it to the Supreme Court. Because anything short of martial law, the United States Constitution does not allow for. Read it. The President of the United States is supposed to issue martial law conditions if things have gotten that bad, which didn't happen last time. And newsflash,
Yeah.
it probably won't happen this time either. Because in my opinion, these quote-unquote lockdowns exist to try to erode the practice of our freedoms, to try to lessen the ability of people to exercise them, and that is their only purpose. They did not stop the spread. People are getting COVID right in their own homes. It didn't do shit. And masks, let me tell you what a mask is good for. Are you ready for this? A mask does not prevent you from getting a virus. It's supposed to lessen your ability to spread it by keeping your coughs and stuff confined in a device, not out in the public. N95s are used by surgeons, so when they speak, they don't get saliva in people's open wounds when they're working on their, on surgery stuff. If you want a real biological mask, I believe it was called the P065 or something like that, done by 3M. And it is an actual sealed rebreather style mask that has literal biological filters attached to it. I don't think I got the product numbers right, but you get my point. There are real masks that do this thing. They cost a little bit more, and I actually intend to get about 3 or 4 of them to kick around the house because, I am actually a prepper. I do have a bug out bag. We're working on a bug out vehicle. I have a lot of stuff that I'm actively doing when I'm not on here, and I'm kind of just running in circles on my base because I'm ranting. But at the end of the day, what it really boils down to is I'm not getting the shot. I don't care what people say. I've seen enough information relating to the shots, and it's not misinformation. It's actually credible. I know how vaccines work, and what we got last time was not a vaccine so much as it was an attempt at a preventative measure that really didn't measure up. In reality, herd immunity would have been better. But, that being said, you need to do what's right for you and according to your own doctor and your own medical advice. Do not act on anything that I say or anything that anyone says on the television, and I do mean anyone. And that goes right to the health professionals that the president would trot out or any other news network or political figure would trot out. You go to your doctor, you talk to them directly about your concerns with either the vaccine or the bug, you discuss it with them. Because they know you better than these people on whatever. They know you better than I do. Just like I know my body better than this, what's her name? On CNN. I'll look it up so that way, I'm getting her name right. Lena Chen does not know your personal health issues, nor does she care. Lena Chen is effectively the face of the Chinese government represented in our health system here in the U.S. And that has nothing to do with her ethnicity, that has nothing to do with her race, that has to do with the fact that she probably has a lot of stocks in a lot of Chinese production companies because, she's basically rich at this point and has made a ton of money on most likely on foreign imports and other goods of medical supplies. So, of course, she has a bone in this game. So, you should not you should not take anything these people say seriously. What you should take seriously, and I'll be specific, on the federal level. The federal government is interested in one thing and one thing only, and that is collecting tax dollars for their own gain. They do not have your personal individual interest at heart. They never have, and they never will, especially from the administrative end of the executive state. The legislative state likes to claim that they can, but they don't. The only one that really cares about the individual is the Supreme Court, and that's just because they're required to. Okay? They don't personally care. This woman does not know what issues you have. Your doctor does. Your doctor says your body can't handle X vaccine because you have X issue. You need to listen to them. If you don't think that they're right, go get a second opinion. Okay? You need to see real medical professionals on a personal level. Not listen to people on a television or a computer. Especially me. Okay? I'm making my own decision based on my own information about my own body that I know personally. And I can tell you right now, that vaccine would be a death sentence. Either one of them for me. COVID or the bird flu. Yeah, COVID for me because, number one, I'm overweight, okay? I already have a high risk for blood clots in the first place. And that's kind of the thing that no one is talking about these strange white clots, is that a lot of these people who are developing them had a slight risk for it in the first place that got exacerbated by the vaccine. They're not discussing that. Just like they didn't discuss how the deaths during COVID were not directly attributed to COVID. COVID was a comorbidity. What actually killed them was something like a heart attack. No one discussed that because no one was interested. They were only interested in the money that they were getting from all the fear and panic. And the politicians wanted to continue on with the lockdowns because it gave them a level of power and control that they didn't have before, and they enjoyed it. Yeah. So, I'm not going to play these games again. I'll play it safe for me personally, just like I advise everyone else to do. Go see your own doctor, discuss it with them. Go talk to your own legal professionals about this stuff. Don't take it from people on the internet. Don't take it from people on the television. You need to be talking to your own personal professional that is directly and personally identified with you as a person. Your primary health care providers and your personal or family lawyer. Those are the two biggest pieces of advice I could give to anyone about any of that stuff. If it's medical, legal, or religious, do not go to the internet. Talk to a real person. Talk to someone in person that you know and trust to be a professional on the subject. And there you go. That's my advice in a nutshell. And that probably ate up half of my video recording time, but I'll just make this one a longer one. Oh, stupid shit on fucking Twitter. That's what brought it on. People bitching about how we're going in for another lockdown. The fuck we are. And even if we are, I'm not gonna play it. I'm not, even if we do, I'm not gonna fucking play along. I don't give a fuck. I'll go do whatever the fuck I want anyway. Yeah, I was gonna say, we have an income that we need to meet, and I have shit to do. I don't have time to play their fucking power trip games. So. Actually, he just signed it. That was Congress and the Senate. Yeah, that's another thing people get wrong politically in the United States. They like to attribute a lot of things to the president that are not actually presidential. No. The president doesn't actually have the authority to give out money like that. You need an act of Congress and the Senate to do stuff like that. It actually was supposed to happen back on 1 year. It was supposed to happen in February, but it didn't happen until March because of, the legal processes and bullshit. Which is, by the way, that's the way it's supposed to happen in this country. It's not supposed to happen instantly. We're supposed to be a deliberative body. We're not supposed to be an instant action body. If you want instant action, go to some third world dictatorship because that's probably about the only place you'll get it. And even then, the instant action will not be that good. I mean, unless you're into day-to-day executions. But be careful, you might be one of them. So, yeah. Or the episode of Family Guy where Roger does, or not Family Guy, but American Dad, where Roger gets installed as a third world dictator of some, yeah, some Latino island country, and he says some offhanded comments about how bad the food is and that the person who does it needs to be taken out and hung, and his guards that he doesn't know, or his guards actually take the chef out and hang him basically. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they take him literally because Roger doesn't know that that's the position that he was given, um, which is kind of really dumb, but also really, it's really dark, but it's a funny joke when you think about it, because it's like if you're a tourist and you're in that situation and you don't know, like, it definitely attributes to a Bible verse, like, be careful what you say because what you say can really affect your life. It really does play into that, I think.
Like if you're a tourist or a guest at a place like that.
I forget how the exact verse goes. Something about your tongue being the rudder of a ship, or something like that. Is the analogy that they tried to use. I can probably think of a couple others. Yeah. Be careful what you say because what you say could have effects that you didn't intend. Yep, be careful what you wish for is another example of that. Hey, look, I have a beacon, and I can fly it.
Oh, you finally made your saddle.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we have almost 1,000 metal ingots. So,
What level is your character?
34.
Do you think you could make a saddle for a kitsune?
Probably not.
Oh, you don't have a kitsune, that's fine. But we did have...
You would actually have to get in-game, drop me a kitsune.
Okay, hold on.
And...
I have kitsune in my party right now. I would just want you to give them back.
That would just be... And I actually don't have any points to unlock anything, which is why I'm exploring the map, trying to get more... either experience to level up or fast travel points, because you get a tech point every time you do that. Actually, the fastest way to get tech points for me would be to go into a dungeon and hope to get a couple of books out of it, but I do need the fast travel points as well because of resources. Man, Beacon can fly for a really long distance. He's not like Jet Dragon or anything, which I'd love to have, but I was actually kind of hoping that that dragon egg I hatched yesterday that hatched a friggin' Relaxosaurus would have one. You know what? Hang on. I'm catching a chicken. I need another chicken. I also have the ball launcher, too. E2E853. Yep, that's the code. Okay. Fortunately, we have a little bit of time before you have to run off to good old Mickey D's. But I did set up a third base on the new island. The newest one for Feybreak. The Feybreak update. No. No, Sakurajima is for the Sakurajima update. The island for Feybreak is over on the other side of the Obsidian Mountain from Sakurajima. Yeah, something happened with the egg production. It stopped, which is why I am getting another chickpea. For whatever reason, when I was doing stuff yesterday, Yeah, I noticed that too.
In berry production, no one is harvesting.
Yeah.
Wait.
So I've never actually been to Sakurajima, but I've seen Asmongold go to it enough times to know where it is. The place that I went was not Sakurajima. It didn't even have the cherry trees at it. There is a whole new island associated with Feybreak. Yeah, southwest of Mount Obsidian. Yeah. And it's a friggin' nightmare hellscape. You don't know what's gonna try to kill you and what isn't. And everything's level 54 plus. I went there and established a base on one of the highest rocks I could find that I didn't see any pals at. Do not try to fly there. There is anti-air artillery. Which wouldn't be a problem if we had Jet Dragon, but we don't. This place is probably going to be too cold for my character, but we'll find out. Yeah, maybe. That is a darker colored chillet than what is normal. It's blue. It's just a very dark blue. Which could just be a texture issue, but I did notice it. And there's a Rangerix, there's a couple of Rangerixes, and yes, they are very hostile. Yeah, I'm trying to gather fast travel points. There you go, Mr. Pal Merchant. Have any pals, and I'm not going to do any sales with this guy right now. Okay, you're just misbehaving all the way around, and you're going to get me killed. Nope, we're not ready for that. That is a predator pal that I do not have the ability to handle. Yeah, a giant Reptyro at level, like, 50-something. Or was it 40? 40, but he's a Reptyro Christ, and I do not have the ability to deal with his attacks. Now, what's with this giant watery crater here? I have a feeling I don't want to find out. So, we're leaving. No, but one of the things I could do, because I believe I have a second beacon on the base, is I can make you a saddle for the beacon so you can actually have a decent speeded flying creature. Just be warned that there's not going to be any elemental, like, it's not going to keep you warm in a cold area. It's not going to keep you cool in a hot area.
Ooh, one of my eggs that I hatched, I got a bird ash out of it.
Nice.
And now to see.
And while
Oh, this is what I prefer.
beacon is a little bit faster than some, it is not necessarily the fastest PAL in the, in the game. I'm probably going to have to drive her to work this morning. It's pretty nasty out. It's not like snow nasty, but it is raining and probably not able to see too well. Yeah, I probably could chance it, but I'm not going to. At least we don't live in the, like, 2 towns over, because they're actually getting ice right now. Well, we had a little bit of a white Christmas this year, but I don't think we're really going to get much snow outside of that. If you can trust the weather forecast. Okay, what PAL was it that you said you wanted a saddle for a kid soon?
Yeah, I have it in my party.
Okay, most of the saddles are 1 to 2 points. I was able to get my shipping container. I'm having memory issues today. Okay. Then I have enough tech points to do it, and the other thing I was going to do. Let me unlock the tech point for you. Aha. Why is it not... You said level 30, right? Interesting. Very interesting. Excuse me. I know. I was just looking at level 30. It's not there. Yeah. Do I have to deploy the power? I put it in my party. Huh. Do I actually have to go catch it myself? Maybe. Here. Probably all the way down, isn't it? Oh. I think I know what's going on here. Yeah. Yup. They have it tethered to your capture count. Yup. Yup. And because... well, okay, hatching counts as a capture. So because you dropped the PAL for me, and it didn't display the little card thingy, it's not gonna... It's just not doing... Did it? I made you the saddle for Vanward. But... offhand, no. Yeah, level 21. So, yeah, you actually have to go catch the PAL itself. So then I'll just drop your kitsune anyway for you. Yeah. That's the wrong button. There you go. Probably could have put that in a better place. Suzaku has always had that. That particular Suzaku has always had that issue. I'm not sure why. Oh. Well, I mean, there's a simple fix for that. It's called move the two things that it can't get to. Which actually I could do, but I don't really care too much right now. The base is just fine the way that it is. Except for the weird feeding issue that it had. Not eating, feeding issue, food. Because, like, oh, I see what happened. I had a Crojuro in there, and it's not in there anymore. No. And I was going to drop a Robin Quill in here, because it too has all the planting stuff, but it also has lumber and medical. Actually, Robin Quill has some of the better well, more diverse work suitabilities than a lot of them. So I just dropped Crojiro and removed the Cadaver. Yeah. Okay. So we have enough mining stuff, so I'm going to remove one of the Anubises. Let's see, they all have diet liver. I'm glad for that, I really am. But I'm going to put a Bushi in, because he's a rank 3 logger. And I'm going to assign him to the logging station. I wasn't aware B-Guard could do logging too. Not that that matters. The B-Guards I have in the ranches are for food, so. Which, weirdly enough, honey and cotton candy, if you are worried about food that can go bad, they don't go bad at all. They're like the most shelf-stable food products in Palworld, so, you know. Your pals might develop a diabetic condition later on, but it looks like, according to what I'm seeing here, and this is just surfing through YouTube about what people are talking about, the bird flu thing is looking to be more of a pet-related issue than an actual human issue. So it just means basically don't buy your dog any canned food that contains chicken. Because the dry stuff usually gets cooked down to oblivion. It's because it's upstairs. Don't ask me why, but for whatever reason, certain stair formations, pals are just allergic to certain stair formations. On one of my other bases playing as Frank, I tried to make a staircase like what I used to have in high school, and it wasn't good enough for them to climb. They are overly picky when it comes to certain types of stairs. I mean, things like Suzaku I understand because it has a taller hitbox, right? If you're a Suzaku, your hitbox is way, like, 4 characters tall, basically. So having a second floor set up the way that it is not really a good thing to have with a Suzaku. You actually have to be about 3 levels above where the ground underneath the Suzaku is in order for it to move around freely. In fact, this is probably too short. I probably have to go up another level before I can start putting, a roof over all this stuff. I might actually end up having to go 2 levels up because of other things too. And even then, I'm not entirely sure as to what purpose a roof would actually serve on this. It's not like we have to worry about our pals getting wet. The only thing that you really need a roof for is because you need one to put a bed down for the character. Which, yeah, actually, yeah. Actually, that cooking pot would probably be better served over by the logging site, because that's probably going to be where they're going to be able to reach it. I'm okay with this being unreachable by pals, though, because I don't want the cakes being transported or made unless it's a person doing it. Um, yeah, I know. The reason I don't want them cooked is because when you cook them, they get their timer put on them. If you leave them in the crafting stuff, they don't have a timer. Yes, it does. But sometimes, and I do mean sometimes, Anubis will run it to a different chest, and then I lose a cake. Nothing happens. It stays at where it's at. If it's in the cooker, it stays at where it's at. Oh, look! The Suzaku's all the way down there, and yet it's still able to cook the cake. It's fine. Just leave the cake where it is. If my Anubis is going to...
No, that's not it. I said it's cooking the cake now.
Yeah.
After saying that this entire cooking probably hungry.
Yeah. That whole system of things being unreachable by pals is glitchier than shit. But... Alright, I'm gonna go... Actually, I'm gonna reformat part of the base. That needs it. Well... There's a certain type of storage device that I have craftable right now. Yep. Oh, this is going to fall down there for the BTM, but that's okay. Yeah, I'll deal with it in a minute. Okay. My Yormantide is just getting in the way on purpose. It's driving me nuts. Yeah. I'm making 3 shipping containers on the top floor. And it's mostly just going to be repurposed for either outdated gear or schematics that we're just not going to use. I mean, in reality, we could turn around and sell this stuff, but I figure if we stockpile and sell it after, you know, a while, we can actually turn it into kind of a savings bank sort of situation. And actually, I think I'm going to make a second storage container right here, too. That one's going to be for eggs. And then I can get rid of the chest that's inside here. Yep. Give me a second. I'm going to go deposit the eggs in the storage container because the yeah. Okay. Yep. So from now on, this storage container here, the one on the end underneath this, is where the eggs are. Yeah, those eggs are not there anymore. Yeah, I put them in the other box. I am shifting off to shipping containers because there's more space and they don't take up as much space in the base. Well, they do, but they're not as cluttery. That's going to stay there as an ammo box because there's not many different types of ammo in this game. Not that many. Okay. Yeah, alright, and for the stuff that I deleted, we're going to put it over here. Actually, the repair station is going to go on this corner over here. Because of issues, and as I remember, there, and other. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm still reporting, but we're gonna have to go, so I have to log off. If y'all like the content, hit the like and subscribe button, and sorry this one wasn't as interesting as the others, but we'll see you in the next one.